Hello, everyone. It's good to have you all on board. It's another time tutorial, the fantastic tutorial. And today happens to be final class on GST201 Telegram. If you have a Telegram, and it's been an interesting one. We're able to have a series of classes on this course on Telegram, and basically this happens to be our last one. And having done this, after today, we will be moving to the next one. So with me today, I have Miss Favor, Mr. Vincent, and Miss Rachel. Good morning to you all. And we know how things have been done. So students are
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Yes, good morning. Good morning, Miss Favor Junior. So you know how things have been done. Students are expected to come with their notes to the class, and we are expected to expand on what you all have in your notes. So to start with, our class rep, Miss Favor, we can start from where we stopped. Miss Favor, where did we stop in our last class?
Sir, she's not in the last class, so just the both of us.
You were in the last class, Miss Favor. Sorry, Miss Rachel.
Sir?
Sorry, I keep mixing Favor for Rachel. Miss Rachel, where did we stop in the last class?
We stopped at the British and creation of no. We've passed that. I'm coming, sir.
Okay.
I think we are at origin of citizenship.
Yeah. All right. Just a moment. I'm trying to. Okay. Original citizenship. I thought we were at education and national development in history. Have we not gotten there?
Oh, yes. That's very good.
Because I know we discussed the Fulanis. That was what we discussed.
Yes.
So I think that was yesterday or the day before yesterday. I sent out the recorded classes of the class we had on Thursday on GST201. And I believe everybody has gotten it. But I think Miss Favor said she has not gotten it. So she's going to, I told her how she can get it. So after this class, she can catch it. So from what we have here, so Miss Favor, Miss Rachel, please, you can, what do you want them to do? Yes, please.
Education and national development history. Education to a nation is what the mind is to the body. The strong relationship between education and national development cannot be emphasized. We can say with confidence that education to a nation is what the mind is to the body.
Wonderful.
It's not only true in Nigeria alone, but the fact is it is not only true in Nigeria alone, but the fact is worldwide, even ancient.
Yes, the fact is worldwide. Very well. Please continue.
Now, Nigeria education in pre-colonial time.
Okay, I think you were about saying something. Even in ancient Greece, all right.
Ancient what?
Ancient Greece.
Okay, it's my pen because I didn't feel that.
Best known as the cradle of Western scholarship. Education was the backbone, all right, or the touchlight bone on the society. A lot of things happened. I think it was in one of the courses we had with the Department of Education. More like the Edu department, the major department for education. We're discussing, we said one thing about education. Education is so much important in the sense that the survival of a nation, of a society depends on it. And you know, when we say education in this term, Okay, we are not just saying going to school alone, all right? Although going to school, going to university, going to school is part of education, all right? But
Yeah.
this not education is not limited to the four walls of our classroom.
Yeah.
Are we together? It is not
Yes, sir.
limited to the four walls of our institution. Education goes beyond just going to a formal institution, a formal school to, all right, get knowledge. It goes beyond that. It goes as far, it goes as far as learning, all right, from the home, learning in the society, learning in the school, learning among friends, learning from philosophers, learning from great minds. It goes a long way. And basically, it is so important to a nation in the sense that a nation's history is being passed from generation to generation. And you can imagine a lot of history dates back to 10,000 BC, 2000 Anno Domini. All of these, we wouldn't have known about them if they were not being passed down from generation to generation through what we call education. All right, that's why reference is made to the even the ancient Greek society. All right, it says educationists of kinds of Socrates and Plato. What made them so special? What made us still know of these people even after they are gone for thousands of years? Is for the fact that we have a term called education. All right. So it is very important, and it's what we can refer, just like what Ms. Rachel has said, is what we can refer to as it is to a nation what the mind is to the body. All right. As much as the mind is important to our body, all right, that is how education is important to a nation. All right. Education is what the mind, please take note of that. It is what the mind is to the body. So please, Miss Favor, do you have anything on the Nigerian education in pre-colonial times?
No, no, sir. No, sir. I've not reached that. I've not gone through the YouTube for that one. Believe this, I
Miss
stopped
Vincent,
studying.
I said, Mr. Vincent, are you here? You've been mute. Okay. Probably maybe his network is not stable. So Miss Favor, please, Miss Richard, you can continue.
Yes, sir. Nigeria education in pre-colonial time. During the pre-colonial era in Nigeria, it was informal. Education was informal. Before the independence, the need for a national education wasn't felt. But
Mm,
immediately after the independence, it then became obvious that Nigerian education system needs to be worked upon.
exactly.
As a republic, Nigeria government became complex and became a complex and complicated one when
Mm,
there are no competent educated personnel
mm,
to be in the system.
wonderful.
Therefore, it needs to fashion out a educational system that will fit the new mode and development needs of the nation. Became
Wonderful.
very pressing and obvious.
Yes, yes. Now, just for us to get something clearly, before we got our independence, the major administrative work, decision, actions were taken by the British. Why? Because they were capable, it's their thing, they know how things work. So when even though before the independence, some Nigerians are given the opportunity to also be in among the administrative scale, where they can also make decisions. But the major, all right, position that matters, none of them were there. All right. So, but when the British finally left, so all these loopholes became obvious and they needed, all right, there was need to have personnel that can manage things, that can manage resources and national funds, manage national resources, just like the British personnel did well. All right. So then it was now obvious that there's need to improve Nigeria's educational system. All right, emphasis was now made to improve and begin to build replacement sons that can take up the responsibilities and man the positions. Yes, please continue.
We have important abbreviations like OFN, Operation Feed the Nation. It was introduced by Olusegun Obasanjo to reduce the level of hunger.
You did not touch anything on Nigerian education after independence, or is it after? You talked about before.
I didn't say anything about after. Yes, I did not talk about after.
Okay, very quickly. Let me go through this together. Excuse me. Okay. So we talked about Nigerian education in pre-colonial times. Just a moment. We talked about that. So now we're going to talk about Nigerian education after independence. Okay. So just like what we've talked about, it says, as stated earlier, the type and level of education have to be in line with the need of the society. Okay, the type and level of education, speaking of the independent, now this is the education during the independent era. So as soon as Nigeria became independent, right, functional inadequacies of education in the nation school became a glaring one. All right. So okay, I think you've actually talked about this. It's more like a phrase of what you just spoke about. So just like what we have been told, we have the era before and there's the era after. Okay. Please, who is this OLVE? Who is this person, please? Can you unmute yourself, please? And introduce yourself. The person that just joined, OL. Okay. I think some persons have been sharing this private link to some unknown persons. I have to recheck the link and recheck my members. So now, just like we were saying before, all right, the need wasn't so glaring, and after it became so glaring. Okay, so now there's something called here the Nigerian education. Okay, I beg your pardon. Overview of the national economy of Nigeria. Do you have anything on that, ma?
Hello?
Do you have anything on that, ma?
Sir, what did you say, sir?
The overview of the national economy of Nigeria.
I don't have anything on it, sir. I only have origin of citizenship.
Oh, no. Now, before independence, Nigeria could be called a powerful economic nation.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, ma'am. So before independence, speaking about the overview of the national economy of Nigeria, Nigeria could be called a powerful economic nation. Here is a country made of land.
I can hear you, sir. Can anybody hear me?
Yes, I can
hear
you. I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Miss Rachel, we can hear you. Can you hear me? Miss Rachel, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, awesome. So now let's pay attention.
Okay, sir.
Before independence, we are talking about the overview of the national economy of Nigeria. So before independence, Nigeria could be called a powerful economic nation. This is a nation we are talking about that has a land covering of 98.321 million hectares, of which is about 74,136,000,000 hectares, all right, are arable. Now, Nigerians also Nigerians was also one of the leading countries in agriculture thanks to the good quality of soil, good heat, and adequate moisture. Now, this is more like an overview, okay, of what the national economy of Nigeria is like. All right. Speaking of the land covering, it's about 98.32 million of hectares of land. All right. And Nigeria also was one of the leading countries in agriculture, like I made mention earlier, you know, but was still remains of immense importance to Nigeria economy is our huge population. All right. Nigeria has a huge population, a large scale of a large space or arable of land, a large space and space of land with over millions of people occupying it, talking about the um, huge population that Nigerian has. And it's also Nigeria is also known for one of the leading countries in agriculture. Okay. So we also have before independence, agriculture accounted for over 50% of gross domestic products. That is the GDP of Nigeria. Take note of that. Before independence, agriculture accounted. So basically, then, before independence, our major source of income in Nigeria, all right, for something to, for just one, for one industry out of several other industries, because we have transportations, we have other things, we have several other industries. But for agriculture to produce about 50%, all right, of the total amount of produce coming out from Nigeria is a massive one. That was what it was like before independence. Now, again, about 3/4 of the Nigerian population were engaged fully in their agriculture and agriculture-related activities. Now, beside agriculture, there are some very important mineral deposits as well, even though agriculture was the major one. These mineral deposits are scattered almost all over the country. So one thing we need to understand here is that the overview of the Nigerian economy basically before independence was basically on agricultural activities. So the structure of economic activities in Nigeria. Now, although most Nigerians are engaged in agriculture or agricultural related activities, economics says there are at least 18 activity sector of the Nigerian economy, just like I said earlier. So education is, I said education, agriculture is not the only industry or sector that also produces GDP for the country, but agriculture happens to be the major one that everybody does, since we have, like we said earlier, large hectares of land, like we have a lot of land, not water, not bad land, good fertile land, over 98 point something million hectares of land. All right. So basically, agriculture was the major source of income for Nigeria. But speaking of other sectors, just like our economist says, there are at least 18 other sectors. Now, these other sectors, all right, these include agriculture, livestock, forestry, fishing, food, petroleum, mining, manufacturing, building and construction, transportation, communication, right, and so on. Okay, so we have that as that. So and after the oil boom, everything changed. Agriculture attention was shifted from agriculture to oil and gas, and that's why it has been majorly up to now. And that's why you can see that even the food we produce here in Nigeria are not as cheap as it should have been, right? The major source of income now seems to be oil and gas and little or no investment. All right, the major investment now goes into that part of the economy. So very quickly here, it says the major problem of the Nigerian economy. Okay, the economic situation of Nigeria today is negatively different from that of the the past. Very true. It's negatively different. It's not an improvement at all. In the year 1970, for instance, Nigeria was self-sufficient in food production and the economic was somehow balanced. Just like when food is not that expensive in a nation, other things will fall in line. Because food, you see, the three basic human needs, they are food, clothing, and shelter. So when food is out of it, clothing, it will fall in line. Shelter will be affordable. Because when food is expensive, we hear things like the production process is high, transportation is high, because food are being produced in the farm and they are being distributed to other places. So when the cost of producing this food is high, it will affect the cost of living. And when the cost of living is affected, you see shelter and clothing, they will also be affected. So food is more like the major thing. All right. So when Nigeria was self-sufficient on agriculture, then you can imagine back then in the 90s, you can imagine how things were. A lot of programs were working, a lot of strategies were working that they can't work now because of cost of living has hiked, has skyrocketed. All right. So, but the regulation of agriculture to the second rank, to the benefit is so-called, according to the oil. Now, take note of this. The regulation, all right. The relegating. When we say relegate, like you reduce, all right. You derank, you degrade. So when agriculture is now being relegated as a second rank, not as a major source of income now, as a result of the oil boom. All right, look at what it says here. But when the relegation of agriculture to the second rank of the benefit of the so-called oil boom has put Nigeria economy in a very complex situation. Now, it's just like we are praying for a better economy, and it came. So the problem now is management. You can imagine if we are doing so well in agriculture, we are even we are producing enough that we can even import to other countries. When it comes to food, we were even doing so well that we were even sending out to other countries, which is a good one. And the economy seemed very stable. Now that oil boom has now happened, and there's a lot of money coming from it, that's why I say boom. So if there was a proper management, agriculture did not need to suffer because of oil boom. It's trying to strike a balance. You can imagine if these two great resources were being managed properly. You can imagine if the oil boom or the oil and gas sector was managed perfectly the way agricultural sector was managed. Probably Nigeria would be maybe one of the G8 in the world, G8 countries. Will be going to meetings, developments will be going on, just like American and the likes of Germany and the likes of all these big Western countries. Can imagine if we have been able to manage these both natural resources. But unfortunately, all attention turned to the oil and gas industry. And just like we are being told here, agricultural sector was relegated. It's quite unfortunate. Are we all together?
Sir.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, awesome. So we have that. So what Ms. Rachel was now talking about the OFN was some of the points here, talking about some of the solutions to the Nigerian economy. All right, when we have on agriculture, many policies have been put in place. The most important of these policies are, some political authorities, personnel try to bring back agriculture, but it's quite unfortunate. All efforts seems to be futile. Nothing worked. So we had one of the one of the programs introduced to revive the economy then, to revive the agricultural economy then, was Operation Feed the Nation. People cannot eat oil, all right? People cannot drink oil. You get to use oil, you get to use gas, you get to use your petrol when you have a vehicle, when you have an engine, all right? But food, without engine or not, you can eat and you'll be satisfied, all right? So people cannot eat the oil that boomed. People can only convert it for some money and use it for some other investment. So agriculture, which is very easy, you can start it easily with some piece of land and some very nice schemes, right? Made available, money, loan made available for farmers, facilities made available for farmers. This really helped in producing food. So the common man who does not even have money, does not have anything, can eat. Food was very affordable and cheap. But when oil struggle, the investment, everything, oil, the poor man now will struggle. Now, some of the issues that came up there, noticing that poverty and everything, the economy began to dwindle, then programs like Operation Feed the Nation was introduced, where everybody needs to farm and increase the production of food items, just like what Buhari, past former president, did. He has to close the border to importation of rice from abroad, because Nigeria is so much blessed in natural resources, even in agriculture. Have you ever gone through interstate journey before, where you let's even say from Lagos to Abuja? That is one way I know that I've been through severally. For hours, if you are on this road, you will see a very large pieces of land. Just look at them. At least in Abuja, we have hills. So there are some places you will find yourself. Probably there are some spot on the road whereby the vehicle is there. You can see a long, more like endless. You just see the land. Unlike Lagos, where we have forest. In Abuja, we don't have forest like that. What we have is just green grass, low level grasses and hills. So you can from a distance, you can be at a distance and you can see, we call it a panoramic view. You can see a long, very large hectares of land unused. They are just there and they are very fertile. Okay, even if you are doing this interstate travel, you see a lot of, for hours you'll be on the road, you see, and you'll be like, all these lands, all these things, they are just there. Nigeria is so rich and so blessed when it comes to natural resources, right? So it's quite unfortunate that emphasis and our resources budget is not balanced. It's focused majorly on what can easily convert. Agriculture might not easily convert, unlike the oil boom. You can produce thousands of barrels of oil in less than a few months, and they can be converted into some good money. Unlike agriculture, whereby there are seasons and there are time. You have to plant. There's a time for planting and there's a time for reaping. So it takes quite some time, and it might not be as profitable as oil, all right? But it does a lot of profiting to the economy, because if a common man can eat food, if a common man can afford food, I mean, you can even be earning 20,000 naira and it will be enough. Transportation will reduce. Everything will definitely reduce if food indeed is available for a common man. So operations like Operation Feed the Nation was introduced there. Olusegun Obasanjo, and we also have the likes of the Green Revolution under the civilian administration of Shehu Shagari. So all of these things tried to be introduced, but they did little, because all attention was turned to the oil and gas sector. So we have that as that. Okay, so Ms. Rachel, what do you have there, please?
Origin of citizenship.
Awesome.
It is very difficult, if not possible, to trace the origins of citizenship without going back to Greek philosophers and their scientific thought.
Wonderful.
Indeed, Greek philosophers are best known as systemizers of early scientific thought. In the early years of citizenship, it was very difficult to understand this. In early Athenian, in early Athenian
Athenian.
society, okay,
Athenian. More like the
Athenian,
yes, this more like the lawmakers of the ancient Greek society, Athenians. Yes, please continue.
I'm coming, sir. Okay, the
It's
concept
spelled
of
A.
citizen, sir,
Okay, go ahead, please.
the concept of citizen was very difficult from what we know of it today.
Okay,
Plato and Aristotle have a strange and unique understanding of the term citizenship.
wonderful.
According to them, a citizen was he who was born into or classified within the penumbra of a ruling class.
The penumbra of
Second,
a ruling
a
class.
ruling class, yes. Circumference or
Okay, okay,
aristocratic class is a citizen. Anyone that is outside the penumbra or aristocratic class is not a citizen, unlike now.
You know, when we say penumbra, we are simply talking about a specific, all right, a specific area, all right, or a specific part. We are saying this person is related to this family. These families are known for who they are, their wealth, their power, and their authority in that society. I don't know if we get that.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Awesome. Please continue, ma.
In French Revolution of 1789, a declaration was made, which was the Declaration of Right of Man, issued by the National Assembly of France.
Okay.
Another declaration, okay,
Now, one thing
should
we
I
need to
continue?
understand here, just a moment. One thing we need to understand here about citizenship. I think we discussed this in one of our courses in that PCR. Citizenship, the rights, human rights, leadership, and everything. It did not just start out of the blue. All right. There were things that led to citizenship. There were things that led to human rights. Okay. The
Yes,
word
sir.
citizenship has not been, all right. It's more like a thing that came up based on certain happenings. Now, in a way, if you are a citizen of a country, you are the burden. Let me not use the word burden. You are the responsibility of that country or that state. There are benefits attached to it. There are rights. There are things the state must provide for you as a citizen. Okay, so it not just happened. There were situations whereby people were not getting certain things from the state. The state wasn't seeing its people as these people were not seeing the state as their sole protector. All right, in the sense that there are certain people in this same state and this same society that get certain benefits, that get certain privilege, protection from the state, while others are let's just use the word relegated or disdained. All right. So over time, the improper treatment of certain people in the society and the proper treatment of certain people in this same society, all right, led to the struggle of human rights and citizenship. All right. So it got to a point whereby the humane treatment was so much that there has to be a movement that demands that everybody, in as much as you are a member or you're a citizen of the state, should be awarded certain rights and benefits, irrespective of whether you are poor or you are wealthy. All right. There must be a general ground whereby everybody is benefiting as a member or as a citizen of the state. Then we now came up with human rights. All right. That social rights as a member or as a citizen of this state, these are your rights. All right. From the state. And this is what the state also demands of our citizen. All right. That's one thing we need to have at the back of our mind. So please continue, ma'am.
Another declaration in 1776, that's American Declaration of Independence, and it was made clear that all men are born free and equal.
Exactly. Now you get the concept. All right. Before this statement was being made, before this declaration was being made, that means there has been, all right, more like a preferential treatment. Are we together? That means there have
Yes.
been more like a preferential treatment and denial of rights and subjugation. So the need to make it clear that whether you are poor or you are rich, in as much as you are human and you are a member, even though you are not human, all right, in as much as you are a citizen of this country, there are certain rights on a leveled ground. Everybody must benefit. Please continue, ma'am.
Now we are moving to types of citizenship.
Okay.
We have citizenship by birth, and we
Okay.
have by legal process.
Okay.
So the legal process said number one is by naturalization.
Yes.
Legal mode of acquiring citizenship is by citizenship of any state is by naturalization. So we have
The
three.
commonest.
Together.
The
We have three.
commonest.
Okay,
That's the
okay,
word. Naturalization is the commonest legal mode.
okay.
Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Good.
So we have three forms of naturalization. Of yes. Should I continue?
Yes, please.
We have the derivative, we have the direct, and the collective.
Yes. Awesome.
So those are the three forms of naturalization, but you didn't talk much on it.
So when we say the direct naturalization, all right, first of all, let's understand something. When we say naturalization, it's more like a formal or a legal way of becoming a member. Just like you see some of our brothers going outside there, probably to the US,
Sorry.
after spending some time.
Yes,
Hello.
yes,
So
I
I did
can hear
not
you.
get what you said. I did not get what you said lastly. Next you said of talking about
I
citizenship, nationalization, and all that. I did not get that part.
I said we have types of citizen. We have citizenship by birth and by legal process. So now under the legal process, legal mode of acquiring
Okay.
citizenship of any state is by naturalization, and it is the commonest way to acquire citizenship.
Okay.
Now, I said we have three
Okay.
forms of naturalization.
Okay.
We have direct, derivative, and collective.
Okay. Okay.
So that's where I stopped. Before Tito wants to
Thank
continue.
thank you.
Okay. So now, when we say naturalization, all right, just like we have some of our brothers going out to other countries, they spend some time, they get their papers, they renew their visas, they do the documentation, and they get the citizenship, having gone through a lot of legal, all right, formalities, and they've been able to meet all the requirements. This is what is meant by naturalization. Okay, so now under naturalization we have the direct. Now the individual acquires the citizenship of the state after he has fulfilled, all right, after he has fulfilled the prescribed legal requirements as determined by the state. That is the direct naturalization. He has fulfilled the legal requirement as determined by the state. Then we have the derivative. This simply means that a spouse or a child become or acquire citizenship status as a result of parent, spouse, or relative. Are we together? You know, there are some persons they will say, okay, I want my child to go. I want my wife to give birth to a child in America so that the child can get that citizenship of that country. Because your child was given birth to in America doesn't automatically make you a citizen. Okay, so this is one way. At least that child has the citizenship identity, and you as a parent, you can also work it. So you can be invited there, and fortunately, or even though you're not invited there, even though if you have the money, you can pay the bills, you can fund the bills, you can go there, your wife can give birth, your child gets a citizenship. It's just like that, or you get your spouse, probably through marriage. That's also one way of collecting it. And we also have collective naturalization. All right. In this case, a group of people occupying a definite territory acquires citizenship. All right, acquires citizenship privilege of another, either by what we call treaty. When we say treaty, more like an agreement, peace agreement, or by statute annexing the territory to a new one. This is more like an extension of friendship, a hand, or an extended arm of friendship, whereby you have a group of people trying to work some things out. It could be business, it could be economical, it could be what have you. And as a result of this, the privilege of exchanging citizenship comes with it. So we have that as that. So Ms. Rachel, you can continue, please.
Sir, what do you say, sir?
I said you can continue, please.
I said social justice in Nigeria. That's what is. Keep quiet, Zanny. The problem of social justice can be traced back to July 1st amalgamation in 1914. Sir,
Okay.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, ma'am.
Okay, sir. So, social injustice is the act of being partial with justice.
Social justice.
Yes.
All right.
No, social
When we say
injustice.
social, yeah, I
Sir?
get what you're trying to say. Yes.
Okay.
But you
So
didn't
I
say
don't know,
much on
maybe it
social
was
justice.
after that you talked about Nigeria independence, or it was the last class that we talked about Nigeria independence, Richard Constitution, Mufassin Litany Constitution.
We talked about that long ago already. That was in our last class
Okay,
before this class.
because I saw it at the back, so I was like, it's together.
So when we say social justice, it's a combination of two words. All right. When we say justice, all right, we are simply talking about, according to what we have here, it says it's not a simple word, it's a way of life. In English, for instance, the word justice is mostly limited to judicial and administrative contexts, while in ancient Greece, justice was something more than that. For people like Socrates and Plato, justice is a part of human virtue. It made man to be good. Okay? According to Plato, justice was one of the virtues, apart from wisdom, courage, temperance, that made a man or an individual good. So when we say justice, we are simply, if we say justice is limited, if we limit justice to judicial, when we say judicial, talking about the judiciary part of the government, where we have the lawyers, we have laws, we have adjudications, we have helping to resolve issues, all right, through the legal view and administrative context. So according to what we are being told here, justice is more than that. All right, justice is a way of life. It is more like doing what is right. All right, doing what is just, from the word just, doing what is right and doing what is proper at every point in time. That's why it is said that it is more like to be a way of life. If we limit justice to just judicial and administrative content, then we are not doing so well. All right? And just like Socrates, and for Socrates, and especially Plato, it was intentional about making us understand that justice is part of human virtue, just like we have wisdom, courage, and temperance. So it's also very important. Then you now talked about social justice and national development in Nigeria. Now, historically speaking, the problem of social justice in Nigeria can be traced back to the first amalgamation. You know, a lot of controversies were about the amalgamation, that these protectorates were merged together without even consulting them. It's like you want people to live together in an apartment, and you don't even allow them to get to know each other, or you don't even consult them to know if they can actually discuss or work things out. You just bring them together just like that. And doing this, you know, these are people from different backgrounds, different political view, different economical, like the Igbos that are known to be acephalous, the Yoruba systems are different, the outside different system, they are all different. So and you just bring these people together, the Efik, the Ijaw people, everybody's way of life is different. I just merge us together like that. Definitely. Right? Are we talking about justice there? Is that action, all right, a right one? Is it a just one? So that's why it says that the problem of social justice in Nigeria. So when we say social justice now, you know, when we say social, we're talking about something that has to do with the public. All right. So justice that is attached to the public. And what kind of justice can be attached to the public? Helping the public to, all right, whoever right is being infringed, helping them to get it correctly, and helping the public to do what is right according to the law. All right. So now the problem of social justice in Nigeria, like we are being told, is traced back to that amalgamation of 1914. And it is recorded that since that period, the Nigerian experience with social justice has never been a pleasant one at all. Like I said, different people, different background, and different understanding. And as a result of that, there has been a lot of misunderstanding between these people. Protests, riots, rancors here and there because of this margin of these different people together. Okay, so social justice has been somehow since that time, and basically we have till date the question of social justice is so glaring because Nigeria as a country is still characterized by what we call unbalanced unit of the federation. Okay, unbalanced unit of the federation. We also have the likes of the promulgation of unjust laws by undemocratic regimes. a lot of issues here and there, but all and sundry, the issue of social justice in Nigeria is actually traced down to that same amalgamation. And basically, we have it there. We are calling it a wrap for today. Thank you, Miss Rachel. You are our class rep, and you have been doing a great job. And I just hope that others will also step up and understand that this journey in National University is not it's not an easy journey. It's a long distance journey of self-discipline and self-motivation. And if you have groups like this whereby you can have like-minded people come together and study together, you want to take total advantage of the group because it will go a long way. It's worked for me throughout all my time in National University of Nigeria, and I really don't joke with anything that has to do with groups who are filled with like-minded people who want to study, hungry and eager to take advantage of their study time. So call it wrap here for today on the course, and the next time we are meeting will be on ACC 203. So I'm going to drop the link to ACC 203 in the group so that we can all catch up and have our next class. I think our next class will be on Wednesday morning. So thank you very much, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Yes,
Good
sir.
morning, Mr. Thank you, Miss Favor. Thank you, Mr. Vincent. I think there's one
So what
person.
question are you having this in GST201?
No. We are done with GST today.
Oh, wow. Okay, sir.
So it will be
Okay, sir.
ACC 203. So do
Okay,
have a
sir.
wonderful one. Blessed day.
Good morning, sir.
Bye.
This Telegram class doesn't favor everybody because this early morning class, what of we that is going to work in the morning and will not attend the Telegram class?
Miss
Like this morning, I
Agnes,
did not
you
even.
can drop me a voice
Yes,
note,
sir.
please. We are calling a wrap with the class already. Thank you.
Yes, sir.